everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm Jake, and with me as always, Steven, the Stream King, the Far Cry guy. He's here. Say hey, Steven.
Hey guys, those titles still feel pretty outdated.
Well, okay, I'll try and come up with something new, but
Okay.
they're what you are, Steven. They're what you are. If you didn't know, this is Chortle Cast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about TV shows, video games, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. Mostly video games. I don't know why I always lead with TV shows, but I do. Mostly video games. You can be a part of the show by writing in at chortlecast@gmail.com. Let us know your topics you'd like to hear us talk about, any news stories you'd like to hear our thoughts on, that sort of thing. You can do that there. You can also do that through our Discord. You can get to that through the description of this video, or if you're an audio listener, you can get that in the description of this podcast. And if you want to go even a further step, you can go to chortlegames.com. That'll get you to our YouTube page, and our banner has a link to the Discord there. But anyway, we have a channel set up in the Discord that you can be a part of the show and send us in topics and questions and all that good stuff. But anyway, we got a great show for you this week. We're going to be talking a lot about, we got a long catch-up segment we're going to do here in just a second. After that, we're going to talk about the PS Plus games for this month, the games with gold for this month, and then Steven is going to tell us some about the Division 2 private beta. That we have some new details about that.
Really
that's coming
excited.
up this coming week, right?
Yeah, it starts Thursday, yeah.
Yeah. So crazy. We're going to talk all about that. But anyway, first, let's do some catch-up, Steven. I feel like I've played more games this week than I have in a while.
Yeah.
I've been stuck on just one or two games, and now I feel like I've played 5 games that I want to talk about this week. Why don't we start with you, though? Last week we played Anthem. The public beta has been this week. You've gotten to play a little bit more. Where are your thoughts now that you've played it another week?
Now that, sorry, I'm having to readjust. I'm sitting very close to my desk, and there's not a lot of room for my legs. Okay, cool. More cynical than I was last week.
That's kind of what I'm picking up on.
Because last week, we were in the game for the first time. We weren't really paying attention to the nitty-gritty, the balancing, the bugs, as much as we were just like, wow, I get to do this thing or this thing. But this weekend was more of a time for me to take a step back now that I've played the whole beta and look at specifics. Specifically, I know that out of whatever team I'm going to run in this game, it is going to be almost all storms.
Which, that was a fear you had early on anyway.
Oh, absolutely. I knew that once I saw the storm, I was like, yeah, everyone's going to play that freaking thing. It's going to be super overpowered. And it's rough. Playing... So before, last weekend, I played a decent amount of Ranger, but didn't really revisit the Ranger after playing the Storm.
Right.
So this weekend, I've tried to play more Ranger, and oh my god, it's not good. It's... Because basically the Storm can do everything the Ranger can, but better. And so I started thinking about it, and I was realizing, man, only half of these javelins seem viable. Like I am all for, obviously, I'm all for all the javelins doing something better than the other, but there should not be an answer to the problem, Like, the answer should not be Storm all the time.
Right.
And that's kind of how it feels. So one of my concerns that I'm running into now is that the Storm either needs to get a nerf or, and this is what I think really needs to happen, the Ranger needs to get a buff. I can't speak for the Interceptor, but the Storm is just packing way too much heat compared to the others. The Colossus seems okay, but it does need more practicality with the shield. Because even though they showed in early footage you can shoot guns while having the shield up, I was playing with a friend of mine, and we were really trying to figure that out. And for the life of us, we could not figure out how to use a gun with a shield. So that may not be in this build, or that may not be in the game, and that's a darn shame, because you kind of need that. So what really needs to happen from a balancing perspective with them is they need to solidify all the reasons to play the different javelins. I'm told that the Ranger is the greatest single target DPS, and it has the potential to be that, but it's not that right now. The only way it is that over the Storm is its combo detonator, and on targets that you really need to deal high single target DPS on, you can't even really prime them that easily. So with anything that would need to be primed, or with anything that would need the Ranger's high damage detonator,
Right.
like stronghold bosses. I fought the stronghold boss. I think the one time I primed that thing was when I detonated as a storm one of its adds, and I think that might have primed it because of the storm's detonation effect.
Right.
So it's just really hard to prime these big bosses. So it's like the Ranger loses out again when it really seems like it would need to be that figure. But again, 6-week-old build. I'm getting tired of telling myself that, but it is what it is. Actually, right before shooting this podcast, I got to play the Shaper Storm.
Okay, yeah. How did that go? What was that about?
It was pretty much nothing. Like,
Is it just like a public event where things like strong enemies spawn?
It affects free play and makes it to where events spawn that normally wouldn't spawn. I fought an Ash Titan. And that was kind of cool, but it spawned so many ads that the game reduced to a stutter with the frame rate.
Right.
It was nuts. Like, my button delay was by about 2 seconds.
Whew.
At that point.
Jeez.
And I was playing the Storm, and I was showing Anna while I was playing this. I was kind of explaining the classes, and I was getting frustrated because I realized I had 2 interceptors and a Ranger with me, which was really weird. And they were fighting on the ground, and the Titan was sending out all these like heat waves. And I was just floating up there fine because I'm a Storm. And it's like the main reason I want to play the Storm is combat placing. Like, right. I want to be over everything. I want to be able to give call-outs, all that stuff. Storm does that best, like they do everything else the best. Right. But in this fight, the Titan couldn't even reach me. He couldn't hurt me. He could spawn these balls of fire on top of me, but I could just blink out before they could do anything to me. And so the Storm is breaking the game. Like, it's too powerful. So it needs to be nerfed slightly, and everything else needs a power boost. Because this game is supposed to be a power fantasy. Give me the power fantasy, but don't make it to where it's such a power fantasy where everyone's playing the exact same thing, doing the exact same thing. Because right now there does feel like a definitive right and wrong way to play the game, and I hate that.
Right.
That is a problem for me.
Well, hopefully they'll boost everyone else, because I don't think the Storm should. I hate nerfing things. I just think that's stupid. If something's really, really good, and so no one's playing the other classes, why would you make the one class that's good worse so that people will care about the other classes? It's like, just make the other ones cooler.
So the normal reason for that is, 1, it's easier, and 2, because most games that have that problem also have a PvP component. And so when everyone is playing one class to outclass the other classes, you punish that one class so that everyone's on an even playing field. I think in this case, you're right. It should be a javelin-wide buff and leave the Storm kind of where it is.
Right.
But at the same time, I do feel like it does need some limitations, because it's kind of nuts at this point. And the kicker of all this, last thing I'll say about Anthem, the Ash Titan, we got him down to very little health, and then he disappeared. No loot drop. He just vanished, because this game makes enemies disappear randomly for no reason. So that sucked. But
well, that's kind of why I didn't play any of the public beta, because I had my taste of the VIP demo, and I was like, this is exciting. I can't wait to do more with this. I know I'm going to like the Interceptor. I know I'm going to like the Storm. I'm just ready for the game now. And so I haven't I didn't touch the public beta because it was so frustrating dealing with just the technical limitations of the VIP demo.
To be fair, the public demo has had 0 loading issues for me. I've connected every single time, no fuss.
Great. That's good.
So they have fixed some things.
Right. Well, I am just, I hope that a lot of these issues that we're having, including your build and power differences, I'm hoping a lot of that is more finely tuned in the main game. But I don't know. I think we'll just have to see, and hopefully they'll recognize what needs to be done and do something right about it.
Yeah. So last thing I'll say about Anthem, I know I said that before, but one more last thing. The guys from Friendly Fire Games, our brother channel, did not like Anthem. They played the beta, did not like it. Like it seemed like a rousing will not buy from all of them. And I was talking to Andrew. Yes. I was talking to Andrew, my brother, which is why they're called our brother channel.
Right.
And he was just like, I'm really disappointed. All of the skills just feel like different ways to deal damage. It feels buggy. And it was like, well, I had a lot of similar criticisms, and I still do. The problem is, if you are looking for this game to be a replacement for a game like Division, that is more role-based, where you've got players that aren't supposed to deal damage and are more supportive, or you've got your more tanky people that aren't supposed to deal much damage, that's not what this game is. And I've kind of had to change the lens that I've looked at it through to feel more like a just co-op mission-based game rather than a MMO light. And that's made it more enjoyable. It's more Diablo, less Division.
Right.
But and one thing that I did say to him that I noticed, you and I, Jake, were watching gameplay for Endgame, and we saw some of the loot that was leaked. Eric's was showing a video, and he had some Masterworks equipped. To my knowledge, there is no limit on how many Masterworks you can have equipped.
That's cool.
So where Destiny has a limit on exotics, you can only have one exotic weapon, one exotic armor. In Anthem, you can have all Masterworks are the equivalent to exotics or legendaries in Diablo. You can have all of your stuff be Masterworks, I think.
Wow.
And I think that might include components. So that is 11 pieces.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And that could potentially be really cool, because we saw one for the Ranger that made it to where if you get a kill with the homing missile, you instantly get it back, and that can occur once every 8 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
And so my hope, what I'm clinging on, and the concept of javelin building is exciting enough to me, but what I'm clinging on to is that there's going to be such a wide variety of Masterworks that once you get to that point where you've got you're only getting Masterworks trying to build your exact build, you can really diversify how the javelins actually run, and maybe I can get that airborne ranger that can do callouts and fast ability recharge.
Right.
So I'm hoping that the game will drastically change with the end game loot, but it's too soon to tell.
See, and I think too, part of what may be the issue is the hardest difficult we can play on right now is hard, right? It's yeah. So and that I didn't get to do the stronghold, but you guys said it was a challenge, but not difficult, right? Like
we played it on hard. We almost wiped twice. The beginning we wiped once because we weren't communicating, and then we got our crap together, started playing through it. Had some difficulty. There were some challenges that was definitely alleviated by teamwork, by callouts, by roles, and all that kind of stuff.
So at that point, when you guys were having to really coordinate, did it seem to matter more that you had different types of javelins?
A little bit, kind of superficially though.
What I'm wondering and what I'm hoping is, as we get into like the Grandmaster difficulty and like the really, really hard stuff, maybe that's where the difference is really going to come in to what javelins you have on a team.
Right.
Because at least on the parts that I played in hard, it felt like we were all just kind of fending for ourselves until we got to the boss, and then we maybe had to work together, but mostly could all just throw what we had at him, and we'd win.
So what happened for us, for example, just to use this as a quick example before we move on, there was this part where we were at this open field, and they had a lot of enemies spawning in the middle. They had snipers in the back and like 2 turrets, and there was just a cluster. We had one pug pickup group. It was a Colossus. He had no idea what he was doing. He was trying to punch everything. So our first attempt, I think that might have been where we wiped at that part. And then we went back in, and Mike was running a Colossus. I was running Storm, and then Evan was running his Interceptor. So we kind of landed on this thing where I was telling Mike to kind of be our stationary tank a little bit, and he ended up being someone that could draw the fire, but from an elevated position. So he was our artillery tank, basically. And I was covering him from above, finding his, basically giving him artillery coordinates. It was kind of cool. Telling him, hey, drop a mortar here. I've primed this guy there. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was able to land on him, drop him a quick hitting field as a Storm, so he was getting his cooldowns back really fast.
Yeah.
So we were able to synergize really well. Storm and Colossus synergize stupidly well. It's nuts. But then Evan, I was able to tell him, hey, while we're drawing the heat, you need to sneak around and start cutting down the snipers, because that was our problem. And so we were able to teamwork in that sense, to where like the Interceptor is definitely the one that can go behind enemy lines, the Colossus can draw more fire, and the Storm is good for Overwatch, all that kind of stuff. But the boss was the giant Spider Queen thing.
Right.
She was basically she was a tank and spank, as they say. High health boss. It can one shot you if you let it. You just need to basically survive long enough to whittle away its health. I ended up being the only one alive at the end. Guess why? Because I'm a Storm.
And you were way up in the sky.
I was way up in the sky. This thing couldn't touch me. I was dealing more damage with my guns because, as far as I could tell, your spells can't crit, which is good. So I was hitting for like 1100 with single rounds from my heavy pistol, whereas my fireball was hitting for like 989, something like that.
That stinks.
Yeah, it's necessary, Jake. It's necessary. But yeah, it was decently challenging. But I think with the scaling through Grandmaster, there will be a welcome challenge there, and I do think the coordination will be more important. But I don't know. The number scaling is very different when you look at easy, normal, hard, and then Grandmaster 1 through 3. So we'll see.
Right. Well, I guess we'll find out. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, this is going to be a long catch-up section because, like I said, we've played a ton of games this week. One game that I've been playing all week long is Kingdom Hearts. I've been playing a ton of Kingdom Hearts, and I am happy to say that it is amazing. You guys have seen a Let's Play with me playing the first hour. You've seen me do a live stream with it. It's really, really fun. The combat is really, really satisfying. There's all the attractions, all the different forms of your Keyblades, where they take, like, there's the hammer, there's like arrow guns. One of my favorite is it's the Mirage Staff, I think is what it's called. It's the Keyblade from Tangled, Steven. And basically you start throwing magic everywhere, and it's really, really fun. But the combat is great. The story is as convoluted as ever, but I love it. And if anyone jumps into Kingdom Hearts, you just have to... My best advice to you is just take whatever they say at face value. Like, don't question it. If Mickey walks up and says Sora's hair is pointy because he's got 4 people inside of him, and it fills him with so much. Is that something that they actually say? No, that's not a thing they actually say. But like, just if that something like that, if a fact is said to you by somebody, just take it. Don't ask why. Just say, okay, got it. That's why that's a thing that's happening. And you'll probably enjoy the story a lot better. That's how I was as a child. I just didn't question anything, and I think that's why I've fallen in love with the series. But now when you look back at it, it's like this is wild. This doesn't make any sense. It's great. The Disney worlds are fun. I'm at the point where I just did the Winnie the Pooh world, which is very small. It's very limited, which is probably for the best. But it was at a very crucial moment. Like we had this really, really intense cutscene, and it was like, oh my gosh, we have to go do this thing. And then I get a phone call from Merlin, and he's like, I found the Winnie the Pooh book. You guys want to come see it? It's like, yeah. And so it wants you to go do that first. And I was just like, okay, really, guys? We've got other things we can do. But anyway, it's really, really good. And I don't know, it's filled me with such... There are games that, you get a remake or you get a remaster or you get like the next piece in a series and there's like some nostalgia to it, like Legend of Zelda. There's a certain level of nostalgia that you get when you play the next Legend of Zelda. But every time it's like a new Legend of Zelda, you know what I mean? Like it's never the same Link necessarily.
Right.
This is different because this is a game that I've been playing since I was 10. And I've followed these specific characters all the way into now adulthood. And I don't know, there was just some part of it that just really, I don't know, filled me with like just an infectious happiness and energy just being in the game.
Absolutely.
I don't know, it's like the most intense nostalgia trip you can have, because it's not even really nostalgia so much as it is like a continuation of something. But it's great. I love it. If you played any of the games in the series, I would say this is, in a lot of ways, the definitive version of. The combat feels exactly how it needs to feel. The worlds are all very cool. In the Toy Story world, you get the giant mechs, and there's a great sequence where you're just like you're like fighting a ton of mechs, and it was really, really fun. It felt like, I've never played Titanfall, but it was very much what I imagined Titanfall would be like. But anyway, it's really, really good, and I recommend it. Even it's probably the story is crazy. So if you've never played any of them, maybe you're going to be confused. But watch. There's plenty of videos out there to explain the story. And honestly, so far in the game, I feel like they've just been connecting the dots that we as viewers and players have known for years at this point. So they kind of help you along a little bit, but the gameplay alone is worth at least giving it a shot. So Steven, I know Anna wants to play,
we're
or
gonna
at least
be
watch you play. You're gonna get it?
We're gonna be getting it. Okay. Not yet, because a lot of stuff is gonna be
right. Well, I was going to say, when I do eventually beat it, I'd be happy to let you download it and play it off of my account or something, but we'll see how that goes. You may be better off just getting it for yourself. But it's great. So I hope you guys try it, and I want to know what you think.
Absolutely.
I honestly, my favorite thing was watching one of the story catch up, here's everything that's happened in Kingdom Hearts so far. Videos with Steven, and I just love watching his reaction to be like, is this real? Is this a thing that happens?
Most absurd, convoluted story. Like, Donkey did a video a while ago that was the Kingdom Hearts story. Yeah. And I didn't know what he was making up or not. It all sounded the same amount of ridiculous.
It was mostly true from what I remember, but anyway, and then Steven, you introduced me to a game this weekend called WarGroove that we played for a live stream, and I really, really enjoyed it. Talk to me about that one.
So WarGroove is kind of a spiritual successor to an old game called Advance Wars, which was like Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance, but it had elements of like base building and making more units rather than being an RPG.
Right.
And so WarGroove took that idea and put it in kind of like a medieval fantasy setting where you've got your commander, and your commander determines what faction you are, and the commander has certain abilities, and it's been really fun. I've been playing through the story, getting to know the characters, and it's been a lot of fun. There's local co-op, there's online co-op. It's hard to figure out, but you can figure it out. Right. But it's a lot of fun. It's one of those nostalgia games for me as well, because I totally feel like I'm playing Advance Wars, even though I'm not.
Right.
But yeah, it's been cool. I'm surprised with how much people have responded to us playing it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to see that people are looking for that game and giving it love that it deserves.
Yeah.
I'm always rooting for the strategy genre to get more love.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm probably going to get it and pick it up and play it for myself, especially as I'm going on more trips. I'm going to need something to play on my Switch, but it was really, really good. So yeah, if you're interested in it, we have a live stream where we played some of it. But it's really fun. I'd encourage you to check it out. And it's an indie on the Switch, and you can usually get it, $20 is pretty cheap for a game. So
yeah. And it's got a pretty good amount of content, honestly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you can make your own maps, and you can create your own campaigns. So it's just crazy. I think it's got I think it's going to have a good shelf life.
Yep.
All right. Let's jump into some news, Steven. So why don't we start with the Division public beta that's coming up this week?
So it is a private beta.
Hang on. Before we go, before we dive into it, I meant to text you this earlier today. I think it was a dream. I hope you're going to say, no, Jake, I did send you this. But I had a dream where you sent me a video, and it was Division 2, and there was a character who had a cape and a hood, and they were using a bow. And it was like super fast. They looked like the Green Arrow. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
So I'm kind of weirded out by that because I told you yesterday.
You told me that there was some enemies that had a bow.
I told you yesterday that there's an enemy that uses a bow, but I did not tell you that he had a cape and a hood. So
really?
That's kind of weird.
That's creepy. Okay.
But and all I said on that end was that there could be hope for a bow weapon eventually. It would feel in line with the game's world. But no, there is an enemy that uses a bow. We saw I saw him on some of the private stuff that they've shown gameplay wise.
Right.
But for this beta, it is a private beta for anyone who pre-ordered or anyone who pre-ordered Mountain Dew, like myself. So I've got a spare beta key. Which, hold on, I'm going to talk about Division. I got to get my Division swag on. I'm wearing my hat now. You throw it
on your Division cap. I've
got my cap on now. But
every time I've seen Steven I've come back down 3 weekends now, and he's always been wearing the hat. If you're wearing the hat at Brody's wedding, I'm gonna rip it off.
So here's the reason why I've been wearing the hat so much. If we can just go down this rabbit hole for a minute.
Sure.
I haven't gotten my hair cut in a really long time.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying to delay getting my hair cut because I generally hate going places and doing things.
Right.
So
like we all
I'm
do.
using the hat to conceal my ratchet hair.
Gotcha. Well, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah. I'm not making a statement. I'm not just walking around as Division boy trying to rep the game.
All right, so talk about the beta. What do we got?
The private beta, it is starting Thursday, February 7th, and going to Sunday, February 10th. And it's pretty big for a beta.
Oh, no, it's not a whole week.
It's Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah, okay.
Which again, pretty long for a private beta.
That's great, yeah.
So, to put this into context for everybody, Anthem came with 3 story missions. Was it 3 or 4?
It was 3
plus strong. Okay, 3 story missions, 1 stronghold, and then 2 areas you could do free play in. Division 2's private beta is going to have 2 story missions 5 additional side missions, control points, and other activities. One of the 3 dark zones is going to be open, so that's Dark Zone East. There's going to be a skirmish PvP mode available, and that is all on the first day. And then apparently, according to this picture that they posted, starting February 8th, end game will be unlocked, and you will get an invaded mission, whatever that means, and all 3 specializations will be unlocked to try.
Wow,
that's a lot.
That's a ton.
Yeah. I'm really excited about all of these things because, one, we haven't really seen how specializations work. All we know is that you get a big weapon, some skills are different, and that there is a progression tree of some kind. That's it.
Right.
So I'm really curious to see how the specializations work from a leveling up standpoint, and I hope that's part of the beta. Part of me is worried that they're just going to make it to where you pick one, but you can't see the actual tree.
Right.
But I'm excited to see 2 missions available because in the Division 1 beta, it was only 1 mission that was available. So they're doing 2 missions and then 5 side quests, which is pretty good. Control points and activities. I'm curious to see how control points work because that seems like it's a mini resistance mode, which is cool.
Right.
Invaded mission, though, no clue what that means. None whatsoever. And I cannot wait to find out what that means. So I'm going to be playing this a crap ton over the weekend.
All this week, yeah.
Yeah. Come Thursday, that's my day off. Heck yes. And I'm going to be playing it pretty much when it becomes available.
Yeah.
Take a few breaks and then play it at, because I think we talked about this, but we are swapping it to where we're going to be streaming the Division beta on Thursday. Is that correct?
Yes. We're going to do Team Up Thursday this week. We'll talk more about the schedule for this week at the end of this podcast, but yes.
But we will be streaming it at least once.
Yeah.
But lots of stuff to do, lots of content to stream, lots to go over and learn. So look forward to that. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm just hoping my bow is going to be there.
Your bow is not going to be there at launch, Jake.
I know, but I'm hoping it's going to be there eventually.
Yeah.
Or else I'm gonna cry a little inside at least.
Yeah. Well, there's a crossbow. Cool. That's more than what Anthem offers. So.
It is, yeah. The 3 story missions, especially since the VIP demo, the most reliable thing to do was the story missions. Yeah. That was like kind of a bummer that we only had 3. But and you couldn't repeat them, so it was like you had to find somebody else who hadn't started yet.
Yeah, and in Division 2, if it's anything like Division 1, story missions will be replayable.
Okay,
so
cool.
We should be able to play them
as many times as you want.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about our next story. Is all the free games you're getting with all your services this week. We'll talk about Xbox, even though Steven and I don't really play much on Xbox, but I'll just get through these. So they've got Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon, Super Bomberman R, which I have on my Switch, Assassin's Creed Rogue, and the Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy. So
Jedi Academy?
Jedi Academy, Steven. February 16th through the 28th.
That's one of the greatest Star Wars games ever made, and that's from the Xbox original lineup. What?
There you go, Steven. You can dust off that Xbox, crank it up.
I'm
get
confused.
Gold for a month and download that. And there you go.
I own it on PC. I'm good. I just don't know why that's on the lineup. That's so weird. It's a great game though. It's so
great
good.
Game.
So good.
Speaking of great games, well, I say that a great lineup. The PS Plus free games for this month are as follows. Fabulous stuff. We've got For Honor, the Ubisoft Vikings, Knights, and Ninjas.
The little fighting game that could, kind of.
The little fighting game that could. That is free for PS Plus owners. Hitman, the complete first season of Hitman 1, all of that is out, which is great. That game is great. Hitman 2 is a lot of the same type of stuff, but the original stuff was really, really fun to play. For PS3, they get Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots.
Oh, wow.
They get Dive Kick. And then on PS Vita, there's Gunhouse and Rogue Aces, both of which are PS4 crossplay or whatever. So we're getting 4 games for PS4. But also, this is the last month that they're doing PS3 and Vita games.
Oh,
so
no.
After this month, we will not have those anymore.
I guess that's fitting for them to end on Guns of the Patriots then, because that was, like, people said that was one of the great, like, I think IGN gave it a 10. I think it was one of the first 10s they ever gave anything.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. And it was one of those games, like, people joke about it. They say Metal Gear Solid 4 is basically watching a movie because there's, like, legitimately, like, 20-minute cutscenes in that game.
Kingdom Hearts is a little bit like that too. I'll just let you know. It's a lot of cutscenes. But anyway, yeah. So going out on a strong note on those, and then just as another icing on the cake, your cloud storage on the PSN, which I don't directly use, but it was 10 gigs. Now it is 100 gigs.
That's wonderful.
10 times as more as you were getting. Absolutely crazy.
I
use it for clouds, like save file data, which doesn't
that's
take
all
up
I
a
use
ton
it
of
for.
space. So I don't know that I've ever gotten close to having more than 10, but I don't feel like I'll ever surpass 100.
Yeah.
I could store a game up there if I wanted.
But games are already up there.
Well, I know, but like, it's just, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Just crazy. But what do you think about For Honor? I think I personally am really glad that I haven't bitten the bullet and gotten that game yet.
That game was never that game was never really a must buy for me because it is so PvP centric.
Right.
It looked like one of those games where I wanted to try it. That looks like it's really satisfying to master, but not for me.
Yeah. Now you have it for free, so you have no excuses. We have to try it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and then Hitman's great. You should try Hitman too.
I'm definitely gonna play some Hitman.
You and I played a little Hitman this weekend, but everyone else will get to see that later. But
yeah,
you enjoyed what we played this weekend? So
oh yeah, I've always liked Hitman. It's great.
It's good. It's really good. Anyway, that's all the news that I cared to talk about this week, since we had so much other catch-up stuff to do. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Chortle Cast. We do hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, there's a couple things you can do to help us out. Number one, if you're on YouTube, you're already at chortlegames.com, and you can leave a like on this video. You can share it with your friends. Leave a comment, let us know what you thought of these topics. Are you excited for Anthem? Do you want to play Kingdom Hearts? Are you going to get WarGroove? Whatever, just the whole 9 yards. If you're an audio listener, you can leave us a review on iTunes. That helps people find the podcast and know that we do, decent stuff. You can also be a part of the show by writing in at chortlecast@gmail.com. You can also, of course, join our Discord. We have a channel dedicated just for podcast stuff, so you can do that there. You can also join us on Twitter and Facebook. Both are at Chortle Games. Follow us there. We post when we go live and when new videos post, when the podcast posts, the whole 9 yards. It's great. Steven, thanks for being on again. Today, talking about all the good stuff we got to play. This has been a good week.
Well, it has. It's really excited for this week, though. We're getting ever closer to the games that I actually want to get this year. We're getting closer to Metro. Metro is the first one that's coming out, and I was ready for it.
Yep. Division Beta this weekend. Metro next weekend.
I have something
Anthem
to do
next weekend.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's gonna be great.
Too much. I'm gonna be busy. I gotta beat Kingdom Hearts in 2 weeks, Steven.
How do you think I feel? I've got to beat Metro in 1 week. And then I've got to be the best at Anthem in 3 weeks. And then Jake, I've got to be the best at Division in 15 days before I get married and leave for a week.
Okay, all right, fine. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be emotionally wrecked after Kingdom Hearts, Steven. I just know it. I just know it. I don't know what happens yet, but I'm just going to be emotional wreck. Right now, we're just connecting all the dots. I've played probably a solid 20 hours, a few new revelations have happened, but most of it has mostly just been like connecting the dots that we've already known. Anyway, we've got a great week. The podcast is not the only thing we do. This is just the start of our week here. We've got a lot of great content for you. On Tuesdays, we usually do this thing called Team Up Tuesday, but schedules are crazy right now. The world is in flux. Steven, on Thursdays, does a live stream series where he's been playing through Uncharted. Have you started Uncharted 4 yet, or is that what we're doing?
Uncharted 4 is this week.
Wow, so the last one is this week. And this is the last one that Steven's doing. So after he beats this one, the live stream series that usually happens on Thursday will not happen anymore. This week, for Tuesday, Steven is going to do Uncharted. I think you did that last weekend too, didn't you? Or last week?
I did.
Yeah. Because schedules are crazy right now. So he's going to do that again. Once Steven beats Uncharted, probably Tuesday and Thursday are going to just be whatever's going to work best for me and Steven to do Team Up Tuesday or Thursday. So I'm just throwing that at you.
Because right now, Jake's really busy, and Evan was able to...
I'm traveling left and right. I'm just everywhere.
While Jake has been busy, Evan has been able to hop in and fill that role. Mm-hmm. But now Evan's started back with his schooling, and that's on Tuesdays. And Jeremy isn't as available anymore because he's working a earlier job. So it's like we're kind of getting pushed into Thursdays more so. So we're just gonna have to see what happens.
Well, it's been great that those guys have been available to help us out.
Absolutely.
And it's been awesome. But Team Up Tuesday, Steven, was always supposed to be Jake and Steven doing something online. And occasionally Friendly Fire Games, but we haven't seen them around in a while. Yeah, we haven't done that.
We need to change that.
But
we need to change that.
We do need to change that. But anyway, so we're coming back. We're bringing it back home, giving the people what they really want, which is Jake and Steven yelling at each other on a camera live. Yep. It's going to be great. But anyway, so this Tuesday, Steven's playing Uncharted 4. Wednesday, we're going to have that's our Let's Play day. So we're going to have this Let's Play of Jackbox. It's the robot rapping Jackbox game. It's me, Steven, Lee Allison, Anna, and Logan.
I'm so excited to see this video.
Rap battle game. It's crazy. It's a wild.
I dropped bars in this video. I dropped some bars.
I failed miserably. I had to learn the system. All right, and I didn't learn it fast enough. Thursday is going to be Team Up Thursday. We're going to be playing Division 2. It's going to be a great time. Friday is Brody's wedding. Everybody,
it is
Brody, who I started this channel with, is getting married. Okay, so
finally.
Everybody, Friday we're probably not going to have any live streams. I'm just here to tell you. Probably not
I might play Division 2's beta in the morning.
Yeah,
like in place of the Xur stream.
That would be good.
But that's about it.
That's all you get.
Yeah.
Now Saturday, that's a different story. Steven and I will be together. We're actually going to film some Let's Play stuff too that day. But we will do a live stream there. Maybe WarGroove again. I don't know. We'll play something on a live stream Saturday, and it'll be in person. It'll be great. We'll have face cam. It's going to be great. And then that's the week. Now I do have another thing that I really should have just been driving home every week for the past couple weeks. But in case you didn't notice, this is episode 99 of Chortle Cast, Steven. 99. We've done almost 100 episodes of this podcast. So next Monday is our 100th episode of Chortle Cast, and we're going to be doing it live. That's right. So we're going to see your comments live. We're going to talk to you in the chat. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk through the news of this week. We're going to do a normal show, but we're going to have you live. We can have a conversation. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great time.
It'll be fun.
It's going to be a good time. But anyway, that's going to be next Monday. It's going to be a live Chortle Cast. It's going to be crazy. Get excited. It is going to be later. It is not going to be at 12 o'clock Central Time like we normally post this. It'll probably be closer to 6 or 7 o'clock Central Time. So If you're used to Chortle Cast at 12 o'clock, I apologize, but we'll have a live thing for you that night. So it'll be different. It'll be exciting. This isn't going to be the new norm. This is just kind of for a special occasion. We're going to make it even more special. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. But okay. Thank you guys for watching. Steven, thank you again for being a part. We're gonna jet. I'm gonna do some editing, and Steven's gonna probably go play some Anthem. Oh, that's right. You gotta go work. I'm gonna go play some Anthem then. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.